The settlement on Kepler 442b was nothing more than prefabricated domes and solar panels scattered across rust-colored dirt. Humanity had been here for 3 years, clinging to existence on the edge of known space. The colony consisted of miners, engineers, and their families, people who had nowhere else to go, chasing the promise of rare minerals and a fresh start. Eli Morgan was one of those children born into uncertainty. At 12 years old, he had never seen Earth except in faded photographs his mother kept on a cracked tablet. He spent his days helping in the communal gardens, studying through spotty network connections and exploring the rocky canyons that surrounded New Providence settlement. It was during one of these explorations that Eli first saw the creature. He had ventured farther than usual, following a dried riverbed that snaked between towering stone formations. The twin suns were setting, painting the sky in shades of purple and orange that never ceased to amaze him. That's when he heard it, a sound somewhere between a wheeze and a growl, weak and desperate. Eli's first instinct was to run. Every child in the colony had been warned about the native fauna, but curiosity, that peculiarly human trait, rooted his feet to the ground. He crept forward, staying low until he peered around a boulder. What he saw made his breath catch. The creature was massive, or had been once. Even collapsed on its side, it stood taller than Eli. Its body was covered in scales that shifted between deep crimson and black, dulled by layers of dust and neglect. Wings that might have once blotted out the suns now lay crumpled and torn against its emaciated frame. Its head was elongated and reptilian, with horns that curved back from its skull. But it was the eyes that struck Eli most. Ancient, intelligent eyes that had seen civilizations rise and fall. Those eyes were now clouded with pain and hunger. The creature's ribs protruded sharply through its scaled hide. Its claws scraped weakly at the ground as it tried to lift its head. When it noticed Eli, it didn't attack. Instead, it made a sound that the boy's translation implant struggled to process. A word in an ancient tongue that predated human space travel. Please, Eli should have run. Every survival instinct screamed at him to flee. But he had seen hunger before. During the first winter on Kepler 442b, when the supply ships were delayed and rations ran thin, he had seen that same desperate look in his neighbor's eyes. "You're starving," Eli whispered more to himself than to the creature. The dragon, for that's what it resembled from Earth legends, lowered its head in what might have been a nod. Its voice came again, this time processed through the implant with heartbreaking clarity. "I am Vrakesh, last warden of the eternal flame. I am dying." Eli's hand moved to his satchel where he kept his lunch, 2 pieces of synthetic protein bread and a small container of reconstituted fruit paste. It wasn't much. His mother had packed it that morning and he had been saving it for his return journey. "This is all I have," Eli said, pulling out the bread. It looked pathetically small in his hands, impossibly inadequate for a creature of such size. Vrakesh's eyes, which had held the weight of millennia, suddenly glistened with something that looked remarkably like tears. "You would feed me?" A human child would feed Vrakesh the Destroyer? Vrakesh, who burned the colonies of the Zorathi, who enforced the quarantine of the Terran Fringe with fire and fury. "You're hungry?" Eli replied simply, stepping closer despite his trembling legs. "And I have food." The dragon's laugh was a broken, rasping thing. "My kind once blockaded your world. We kept humanity trapped in your solar system for 2 centuries. We were tasked by the Galactic Council to contain your species. Too aggressive, too unpredictable, too dangerous to be allowed among the stars. I personally destroyed 17 human vessels that attempted to breach the cordon." Eli paused, the bread still in his outstretched hand. "Why?" "Because we feared you. We feared what humanity would become." Vrakesh's head drooped, and we were right to fear. When humanity finally broke through, when you scattered across the galaxy like seeds on solar wind, the old order crumbled. The council fell, the great empires be diminished. My people fled to forgotten worlds like this one, and now I, who once commanded battle fleets, reduced to begging a human child for scraps. "That was a long time ago," Eli said. "You didn't destroy those ships. Your people did. And you're not your people, you're just you. Right here, right now, you're just hungry." He placed the bread within reach of Vrakesh's snout. The dragon stared at it for a long moment, then at the boy who should have been his enemy. With careful, deliberate movements, Vrakesh took the bread between teeth, designed to rend starship hulls. He consumed it in 2 bites, and Eli could have sworn he saw relief wash across those ancient features. "Why?" Rakesh asked. "Why would you show mercy to one of your oppressors?" Eli thought about the question as he offered the second piece of bread. "My mom says that holding on to old hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. She says that's what makes us human. We can choose to be different than what we were." "Your species is strange," Rakesh murmured, accepting the second offering, "terrifying and beautiful in equal measure. We tried to cage you because we thought you were monsters, but perhaps we never understood what human truly meant." "Can you walk?" Eli asked. "There's a cave system not far from here, fresh water, and I can bring more food tomorrow. You would help me further?" "Well, yeah." "I can't just leave you here to die." Rakesh struggled to his feet, swaying with weakness. The galaxy feared humanity's capacity for violence, but perhaps they should have feared your capacity for compassion instead. That might be the more dangerous trait. As the twin suns finally dipped below the horizon, a human boy and an alien dragon made their slow way through the canyon. Above them, stars began to appear. The same stars that had witnessed their species' long, bitter conflict, now silent witnesses to something new. Behind them, discarded in the dust, lay the wrapper from synthetic protein bread. Such a small thing, really. But in the vast darkness of space, sometimes the smallest acts of kindness burned brighter than any star. And perhaps that, more than any weapon or warship, was what made humanity truly dangerous to the old order of the galaxy.